Good morning, everybody. David Hammond here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day. Everything is going well on my side of the town. I just wanted to touch bases with you all once again. A few weeks ago, I had shared a subject with you all, and the question was, does God speak to us? And the answer to that question was yes. And like I've said before, that answer is based off some of my personal experience and encounters that I have had with God. So a few weeks ago, I did share one of the ways how God spoke to me, and without a doubt, if He's speaking to me in these ways, I know without a doubt that God will speak to you the same way. So the first way of God spoke to me, I shared with you all, was through a prophetic word. And that usually happens through a pastor. You know, God will speak to a pastor's heart something about you, and the pastor will come back and relay that message to you. And there are plenty of stories in the Bible where God spoke to some of the prophets, and where they had went and shared the word that God told them. They'll share it with someone else. There's a book in the Bible, the book of Samuel, where it's the story about King David, where there was a prophet named Nathan. He was around David often, and God spoke to Nathan often, gave him prophetic words about David. So Nathan always shared prophetic words. Nathan always shared prophetic words to David. But this one way how God spoke to me was through my pastor. One night I was at Bible study, and my pastor was praying for people, and then she walked up to me and said, "God has heard your promises that you have made." And then it kind of went over my head. I didn't really grasp on to what she was saying, but she repeated it. She said, "God has heard the promises that you have made to God." And it was amazing, because that same day, early that morning, when I was, in my quiet time praying to God, I was praying, and I asked God if He would bless me with this certain thing. And I told God if He was to bless me with this, I would do something in return for Him. And I was very detailed about what it is that I was wanting God to help me with. And I was very detailed about what it was that I would do in return for God. And I said, "God, I promise, if you was to bless me with this thing, then I would do this in return." And that same day, when I went to Bible study, my pastor had came to me and told me, "God has heard my promises." So without a doubt, I know that was God speaking through her, through prophetic word. And I know if He's do it for me, He'll do it for you. I believe it's some of you out there who has also received a prophetic word from a pastor. But that was one way how God spoke to me. Another way God spoke to me is He gave me a dream. And then later on, He revealed the meaning of the dream to me. Not long ago, I had a dream that I was riding around in this city, and there's a whole bunch of buildings around, a whole bunch of businesses. And I'm riding around, and I'm knowing that I need to get to this destination, but it's like I'm just riding around in a maze. I'm not really able to find my way around. And I'm just riding around. I happen to see this big old street sign, and on it said Business Avenue. So I end up turning down that street, but I'm still just riding around trying to find my destination. It's like I'm in a maze. But that dream was very clear and vivid, and it was very detailed, but I didn't know what it meant. But a little bit after that, one day I was at work, and I was just in my own zone working, and then out of nowhere, that dream popped in my mind. I was reminded of that dream, and I heard this small voice. It was like a whisper. It said, "You've been trying to find your way around business." And it kind of caught me off guard, because it came out of nowhere. And I thought about what I heard, and I was like, wow, that makes sense. I have been trying to find my way around business. So, a little bit about myself, that I am a businessman, and I have been involved in different business ventures of my own, and partnered up with other companies, just kind of bouncing around with different businesses. But I haven't really came across that certain business that I could actually plant my feet into and just run with it. But that dream, after I had the dream, and I didn't know what it meant. But then that day at work, out of nowhere, the dream pops in my mind. So I believe it was God reminding me of the dream. But then I heard that small whisper. I remember people used to say God speaks, and it's that small, still voice. And I never knew what that meant until I had that encounter. That's what they was meaning. It was like a small whisper, and it came across as a thought in my mind, but it wasn't my thought. And that's the second way how God had spoke to me. You know, that small, still voice is like a whisper, and it amazed me. You know, because not only did God give me the dream, but He spoke to me, and He gave me the meaning of the dream. And now, up to this day, I am involved in another business that I'm passionate about, and I do believe that God's opening doors for me. So, not only did God give me a dream and speak to me, but I believe He was kind of revealing things in my life and showing me the path on where I'm going. And you know, I'm very thankful for that. So that's the second way how God spoke to me. And like I said, if He done it for me, I know He would do it for you. So I encourage you all to seek out God. And sometimes we have so many things going on in our life that we're not hearing God. And so I noticed that when I have my quiet time, when I kind of block out everything that's going on around me, I've been hearing God a lot lately. You know, I make sure I have a quiet spirit. Even when I'm at work, I try to put my earphones in and try to block out everything that's going around me to make sure I'm ready and aware when God speaks to me. So I don't want to miss out on nothing that God has for me in my life. And I know God has things in store for you as well, but sometimes we have so much going on that we need to kind of put some of these things aside and kind of block out everything that's going on around us and have that quiet time. So I encourage you today, make some time out for you and God, just to be still and be quiet, whether you're at work or you're at home. And I believe God will speak to you. So I'll definitely be back in touch with y'all later on, and I'll have one more way to how God spoke to me. So I'll be sharing that with y'all later on. So y'all have a good day, and thanks for listening. David Hammond. Amen.